is getting ever closer, and so I definitely would have something planned with that. You'll just have to wait and see what it is, and also. But in the meantime, here's sort of anime vlog of my some series I started recently, including just 2 new series and 1 returning one. And so, first off, let's start with the big one, Doraemon Disney XD, since this series has been running in Japan for since long before I was born. And it's to the degree where it's an icon of theirs. There's definitely a big on the same level, well, in Japan as Mickey Mouse will be here. So naturally, it's only right that era to Disney XD. I mean, I was concerned about how some of the changes they're going to make it, but I realized they actually born out of necessity, so given how an audience got different expectations. But actually, one thing that's important there, the voice acting and script are actually quite faithful. It's mostly in cosmetic changes, and since Nobita's not named Nobi, which reminds me of that game that people at Kamajamashi made, that Shizuka is now named Sue, Suneo is now named Sneech, Giant is now named Big G, kind of there, and actually it's quite a good voice cast I got, since Nobi's Johnny on Bosch, who's actually had quite many numerous roles that was Ichigo, Origins Brock, Lelouch, who's Kaneda, and definitely he's the Power Ranger I trust most with this role. Well, I mean and also that's Mona Marshall is voicing the opponent Mr. Doraemon, and then also series he was built in the future, and he actually comes back to the past to help Nobita out with the inventions of the time. That's a commentary on how technology can also avoid problems. And also, the animation is very good, and it's very whimsical and lighthearted. And definitely it's a far better slice of life series than Steven Universe claims it hoped to be, especially that latter one, given how there's been some rather unsavory things about his creator lately. It went badly. Don't like to talk about it, but anyway, definitely would recommend that one. I've seen the first couple episodes of dub, and probably I'm watching more, as well as seeing some of the roles of also ones of the 70s with all these weird backstroke of the West, like titles that to be expected when you're trying to something from Japanese and Chinese and back to English. And I know, yes, it does occasionally use "do not want" as a phrase, and as I've seen, but next up, Space Dandy started his 2nd season. He's in about a week or 2 ago, and the first episode is definitely a good one, and that's QT apparently haven't been repaired from the events of the first season finale. They try to pass off a cow as an alien, but then they actually find out a kind of strand about the universe instead of dandies, QTs, and meows. That's sometimes in some universes that dandy looks like a mecha pilot that would not be replaced with something like Star Blazers or Gurren Lagann or another thing that. And sometimes he resembles a cross between Goku and Michael Jackson, complete with the ooh and the clouds and oh yes, even a Titan. Definitely not lost by the fact that Toonami is not only once again actually airing the dub before Japan gets it. That's by request of Prius Shinichiro and Watanabe. And it's also being aired alongside Attack on Titan, which I'm on episode 6 of the subs. It's also working more of this before I start watching dub officially. That even though I see I liked, but that's not important right now. And with the sometimes QT, he looks like all boxy, looks all even clunkier with all these light bulbs and tubes in them, and then sometimes he looks like a transformer that turns into a Super Famicom, which is definitely a Japanese equivalent of Super NES. I mean, isn't that? I mean, as you can tell, that there's a reference pool in this episode goes a lot, and not just on ones from 70s anime that influence it as well. On that. And definitely it's very interesting, puts a lot of interesting theories and humorous context. I mean, that's definitely why I'm enjoying it a lot, and even though it doesn't play fast enough continuity, that it's easy to forget that Cowboy Bebop had an episodic format as well. And also, quick side note before I move on to the next point, it's going to be coming back next this fall, since I got it right back in. I definitely would like it if they managed to get Trigon back as well, since I liked watching both of those when I was younger. I see the latter as a companion piece to form, and last one, definitely the big one of mine. I mean, Sailor Moon Crystal. I mean, yes, it's finally come out. It's the long-awaited reboot out of the beloved Magical Girl series, who's my favorite anniversary of the franchise, and I am really enjoying this one since animation definitely looks a lot more polished. That as well as there's only a few. Surprisingly, there's actually a few cosmetic changes to what's going on. I mean, since it turns out in Japan, our kids still have good business, even though in this country most of them are places like pizza parlors, there's family fun centers and there's casinos and whatnot, and also notice that a lot of similarities. So it's Utama, which is not surprising given how anime has the same director as the original one, and also drawing much influence from manga, which is because Naoko Takeuchi has direct control of the series as part of the agreement when they started the production. And save for the CGI and transformation sequence, which, as pointed out before, I'm just not too big a fan of conspicuous CGI. That animation is actually quite impressive. That way characters move, and of course, even the designs could get used to with they're definitely a bit more leggy there in them. And as what everyone's going to ask about a piece associated with Chicago did, save favorites. 1, I like that one. 2, something everyone's gone through, and 3, it makes it like the Bare Naked Ladies will make sense, particularly part of the anime because movie wrong things. And 4, just had to think, just try to think about too much. Just look at something like another tab I have that. But anyway, it's following along really closely to the first pilot from the 1910s, which I used to watch all the time. That and when I was in that, and yeah, it's just the first one I ever watched. I mean, it was technically for girls, but I don't know that stopped me, even though I did obey the rules. And also considering some of the Sega fig words, it's sense. And I don't think by this point that anyone's going to care. They're going to be willing to spend $40 on various Sega Senshi and whatnot. That just all these the Mewtwo Diodes, the Gallantmon Diodes, and all these Monster Arts Godzilla things. And so it's I keep it brief since just let you know that even though I haven't been able to upload as quick as I'd like to, I am still here and might be making plans, past 700 episodes, depending on how things are going, and so, anyway, that's all I have to say for now. The Box Bonus, I'll see you later.